Freedom for my nipples. Why I did it wrong? I was terrified. Fingers crossed she will love. The hardest thing for me, just another something that's controversial. Oh, you're crazy, you're gonna give up tons of money, is hypnobirthing. Everyone is waiting for. Hey guys, welcome to another birth prep month videos. And yeah, I'm Dor. If you're new here, I am expecting my second. It's gonna be a daughter. I'm so excited. I have a son who is 20 months old. Today, I'm gonna be talking about the 10 things that I wish I had done differently first time around with my son Fox. Learning from that experience and trying to make it easier the second time around. Always take another mama's opinions with a grain of salt. Also a disclaimer, I forgot to mention, every baby is different, every pregnancy is different, every labor experience is different. I just want to share what I've been learning and what I specifically struggled with, and I wish I had done differently to make my life easier. So I thought it would be really useful. I am going to be sharing everything that I actually feel like I did right and I really want to do again for baby number 2. So I thought it will go like hand in hand because I don't want to be like super negative. So yeah, I'm going to jump right in and I'm going to start off with the 10 things that I wish I had done differently. Okay, so the first thing that's on my list is breastfeeding. I feel like the hardest thing for me throughout this whole journey of motherhood was breastfeeding, for sure. For me, unfortunately, breastfeeding didn't come easy. My issue was pain in my breast area and especially my nipples. I was crying. It was so painful. If you're about to give birth to your first, I don't want to scare anyone. I really don't know of a lot of mamas who suffered like I did. I just want to preface how hard it was for me. And basically, what I'm going to do differently the second time around is not push myself too hard to finish the year mark of breastfeeding. I actually did breastfeed Fox for over 13 months, so almost 14 months of breastfeeding, which is a lot for most mamas, I feel like. Fingers crossed it's going to be easier the second time around. Hopefully it's going to be a different experience, but if it's going to be the same, I might not push myself as hard to finish the year and just move to formula, just because I have nothing against formula. It was just like a goal of mine. I am that type of person who has like a goal and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm gonna suffer, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get to there. And that's not what I want the second time around. I want it to be a lot more relaxed and laid back. So the second thing, and I feel like is probably the most important thing, because I can't imagine myself not doing it this time around. No matter how like the experience will go, it's my goal. I have to do this thing, is reintroducing bottles and pacifiers. For Fox, he hated both. It was a struggle to try to have him like suck on a pacifier or try a bottle. It was always like a battle between us. He would not take neither. I think there was like a month or two that he would play with the pacifier as a toy. He wouldn't really like use it as a soother kind of item. And basically what happened is that my poor nipple again was his main soothing source. So basically I'm going to be a lot more persistent with reintroducing bottles and pacifiers, and hopefully she will be okay with both, so I can at least go for a couple of hours and come back and not knowing that she's hungry and I'm the only source of food, because the previous time I had a lot of like backup storage and it was so easy to just give him a bottle, but he wouldn't take it. He just wouldn't take a bottle in any shape or form. So yeah, with baby girl, I hope she's gonna have at least one bottle a day, just to be persistent, have her get used to it so she won't hate it. The same goes with pacifiers. If you have any suggestions and tips on how to have your daughter or son be okay with bottles and pacifiers, leave them down in the comments, because I would love to know. Yeah, that was like kind of a huge fail for me, because I know if I had done it better, I would have a lot more freedom, and also freedom for my nipples for a little bit if they're super painful, as I mentioned before. And yeah, I didn't have that luxury the first time around. So fingers crossed she will love pacifiers and bottles. The third thing is also a major one, and it's sleep. With Fox, I am very laid back in terms of having schedules and structure, like days, but basically in general, I really want to implement a better sleeping habits, which we didn't have with Fox. Up until now, we're still really struggling with him sleeping by himself and staying sleeping in his bedroom. So it's something that is on our top priority, and I am looking forward to hiring a sleep consultant. So I really hope I will find someone that in the same mindset, that is not super strict. The fifth thing on my list I'm already doing differently, which is basically getting mental health. It might not be something that you specifically need or will need. I didn't have postpartum depression or anything like that, but I did have anxiety for sure throughout the pregnancy as well. It's just, you know, related to my PTSD. It's just something that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. Unfortunately, I never really opened up about it on social media. I don't think anyone knows that I have PTSD, but there you go. So I never got help with that. And I've been having this PTSD since many years, like since I was like on my later teens and military service. So yeah, it just got worse. So I finally started actually treating it and going to a psychologist. It's been almost a year since I started my therapy with my psychologist, who is amazing. And it's been so much better. And I know I'm so much more prepared to have a second baby. With Fox, the anxiety went through the roof. If you feel like you need it already, definitely try to find a therapist early on as you're being pregnant, just to make sure you have that call that you can make right when you need that assistant. So the next thing I really recommend for all parents out there, it doesn't matter if you're a mom, that basically everything that I'm saying right now, unless it's like breastfeeding, it's like for everyone. Everything that you're afraid from, do it as early as possible. So for example, with Fox, I was terrified of leaving the house because I gave birth to Fox in January. So it was just as we started to really feel the winter here in Cleveland, and it's a really hard winter for me, at least coming from the desert. It was really, really tough. And for me, going on a walk and even like leaving the house for those checkups appointment was so stressful. I was literally terrifying, and talking about like anxiety, that's where I was like struggling the most, leaving the house. And as soon as I started doing it more and more, and even more when I did it by myself for the first few times, I felt so much lighter. It gave me so much relief to just knowing that I'm capable of doing it. So whatever it is that stresses you out, if you're on your first pregnancy and you don't know yet, just keep that in mind. Whenever the baby comes, if there is something that you're specifically nervous about and gives you a little bit of anxiety or just stress, make sure to deal with it as early as possible. So yeah, I'm definitely already thinking about how stressful it will be to leave the house with a newborn and a toddler. I am just really gonna push myself to do it as early as possible, also by myself, just so I will know that it's not so bad and it's more than I think of it. And yeah, just cross it off my list of fears and anxiety, and I'm sure it's gonna make my overall feel and mental health a lot better. Next thing is set schedule. I kind of touched on that with the sleep, but in general, I want to have a more structured schedule. Again, I was very laid back. I had Foxy literally sleeping next to me most of the day. I didn't put him in his room until he was like 6 months old. It was like pretty chaotic. I mean, it worked most of the time until it didn't. And I just feel like it got to the point where it didn't work for us anymore, and it was too late to fix our schedule. I mean, it's never too late, but I wish I had done like a better schedule and a better like habits right from the start. Another thing that I'm gonna touch on in another video, where I'm gonna do the meal prepping, because meal prep was something that I am extremely proud that I did. However, I did it wrong. So it's something that's like, I'm definitely gonna do again, but it's also, I'm gonna do it differently. Why I did it wrong? Well, it's because I didn't take under consideration that my son or daughter or any baby might be allergic to a lot of things. So I just prepared meals that I love and I knew were easy to make and easy to store and to freeze. Long story short, Foxy was allergic to a lot of things. He wasn't really allergic, but had really bad sensitivity to a lot of the things that were included in my meal preps. So what ended up happening is that I made this like huge effort to have this like an amazing postpartum diet. Everything was prepared, all the food that I love, everything was ready to go, but I couldn't eat almost none of it because really shortly after, again, my diet became so limited. Basically what I'm saying, if you are planning to meal prep, which you definitely should, because it's an amazing thing, for the short 3 weeks, 1 month that I've been eating the food, it was extremely helpful, but I wish I was smarter with that. So basically what I'm gonna do differently this time around is that I'm gonna have a few options for like dairy-free and gluten-free, a few options for that and that, like basically be more mindful of allergens. Another thing that I wanted to do differently, and we actually already did, so it's off my list, is baby moon. The first time around it was COVID. We couldn't like go anywhere. We were locked most of the time. Lior wasn't able to join me to any of the prenatal visits. It was not the experience you want to have, but this time around we already went on a baby moon. I feel like it's so amazing and important to just cherish your family dynamic as it is right now before things are changing, really like taking pictures together before everything changes again. So we already done that. We took plenty of pictures. It was so fun. Another thing that I'm doing differently, if you're watching my videos, you know I am planning a home birth, which is completely different than a hospital birth that I previously did. My hospital birth experience was amazing. If you watched my birth video, which I'm sure you did because that's how most people find me, it was amazing, and I was so grateful to have this amazing hospital birth experience. However, due to like COVID restrictions and all those stuff, and especially I mentioned everything in the why I'm doing home birth versus hospital birth video. I'm gonna link it here if you're interested. Basically, there were a few things that bothered me and I know that I wanted more control of, and now with the second baby I have a lot more confidence in my body and myself, that I can just do it at home in my own environment, my own space. Now that I have my own space, I don't see why not doing it. I feel like it could be potentially the best experience ever. The last thing on my list is nesting. For me specifically, the first time around, all the pregnancy didn't really go as I planned. Like, it was an amazing experience, but we moved to a house that ended up not working for us, so we needed a place to stay, and then we found this house and we bought it. It took a while to move into it. It was a lot of things that we didn't expect to be happening. So unfortunately, I wasn't in my own place to nest and be prepared for. And basically, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in this video, but I gave birth a couple of days after we moved to this house, and it was still construction. I didn't expect to give birth in 37 and 4 days. I thought I'm going to be like towards 39ish. Nesting this time around feels amazing, and I'm so grateful. Now, the things that I actually did right, and I am not planning to change, just stick to them because they worked amazingly for us. First thing I have here is setting boundaries with visitors. And for me, it was easier because again, it was like still COVID time. So having to say no to someone to come over after giving birth is easier. And also most of our families isn't around. You have a new baby, you had just given birth. So if you need that space, don't be shy. Just say, not this time. I'm gonna call you when I am ready for visits. So the second thing I have here is hypnobirthing, and it's something that I highly recommend if you're into meditation and all of that. And even if you're not planning on an unmedicated birth, I think it's really helpful for the first few hours until you get the epidural. You will experience some sort of like discomfort or even pain because contractions are painful. It's like just part of this process, and if you know how to deal with them, and if you know how to breathe through them and meditate through them, it's extremely helpful. It's an amazing tool to just know about and practice a little bit. So yeah, it's something that I'm definitely gonna practice again the second time around. The next thing I have on my list is Love Every's play kits and play gym. And basically, if you've watched my videos, you know that I've been working with them, but originally we got ourselves the play gym, and it took a while until they actually reached out and offered to send Foxy the next few kits. Having the things that they need at the right time with the instructions for the parent, everything just laid out so easily and simple for the parent. There's nothing easier than that. It takes a huge amount of stress of researching and just knowing that you're on the right track, that you're not missing anything. For me specifically, it was so relieving, and it's just sent to you at the right time. It's just so easy. Just consider it. I'm gonna link Love Every down below. It's not sponsored or anything. I just really feel like it gave me such a relief throughout this parenthood time, and I really want to just pass it along in case it's something that's gonna be interesting for you too. The next thing is, again, controversial, is co-sleeping. I enjoyed co-sleeping with my baby. I am not against it. I am planning to implement a better sleeping habit, as I mentioned before, but I'm not planning to like ban completely co-sleeping. I enjoyed it. I loved it. It's the most amazing, magical thing. Just another something that's controversial, so I'm not gonna talk about it too deeply, but it's something that I am planning to do the second time around. The next thing is chiropractor. Taking my daughter to a chiropractor, I took Foxy for the first almost year of his life. It made such a huge difference. Around mid-pregnancy, I started going to her myself as well, which was my first time ever. I see the benefits and I am so happy that I took Foxy, and I'm definitely gonna take little girl as well, just to know that everything is fine. She might not need it, but yeah. Even though I had a hard time with breastfeeding, I did go to a breastfeeding consultant, and I went like, I don't know, maybe 20 times. I know it's excessive, but for me, I needed it, and it helped me each time with different thing or the same thing that just helped me just push through the pain and understanding what other techniques and things I can do to just make this whole experience bearable. And it's something that I'm definitely gonna do again. The next thing is something that I'm really proud of both of us, Lior and I, that we did and we were really invested in, is baby-led weaning. Everything about it is just suits our mentality, and we really enjoyed seeing Foxy really bloom through that process. For us, it was so amazing. So we definitely gonna do baby-led weaning with baby girl, 100%. Cloth diapers, oh my God. Again, cloth diapers were something that I remember mentioning when I was pregnant, and everybody told me like, oh, you're crazy, you're gonna give up after like 2 months, or it's gonna be so disgusting, you're not gonna believe that you even wanted to do it. Or I heard so many things. People were actually thinking I'm crazy, but let me tell you, it's the easiest thing. I really want to do like a full-on video, like 101 cloth diapers, everything you should know about it, all my favorite companies and all of that. Let me know if that's something that will be interesting for you down in the comments. I would love to make this like big video. I don't know why people are so nervous about it. It's so easy. It's so like obviously better for the environment. It's better for your pocket because you're saving tons of money. Yeah, they're just so amazing in so many ways. I'm not gonna get into it, but definitely gonna do cloth diapers the second time around. We found with Foxy a flexible daycare, which took us a while to find caregiver options for so long. Ever since Foxy was like 5 or 6 months, I just really wanted to have a few hours a week to go run some errands, because Lior, if you didn't know, is working like half time in New York, half time here. So I do have a lot of time that I'm here by myself with Foxy, and soon to be with 2 kids, which is tough. Flexible daycare was something I didn't know existed. It's been life-changing, not just for me, for Foxy as well. It's basically a normal daycare, but you can take your son or daughter for how long you want, whenever you want. You can take them 1 day a year, you can take them every day. So if you're not aware that something like that existed, just try to Google flexible daycare in your area, knowing that they are there whenever I want to, no strings attached. It's amazing. I have meal prep here as well, because as I mentioned, it was something that I was happy that I did, and I'm definitely going to do again. But this time I'm going to do differently, just because I'm going to be more cautious with the allergens like things. The next thing I have on my list is household services, and there's not much to say, but basically just be open-minded for anything that you need in the house and you can have help for. If you just don't have time and really struggling and you just need help with like cleaning, food services, everything that you need. Even though it took me a while to find cleaning services, I did eventually, and it's a huge help. Everything that can make your life easier postpartum, just make sure if I need help, I'm gonna get help. It's okay. We cannot do everything by ourselves. It's just something that I kind of like learned and accepted. And the last thing on my list is something that everyone is waiting for on this channel, is my birth video. Definitely gonna do it again. I did mention it in a few videos. Watching birth videos is one of my favorite things. It's just so empowering. It's so amazing to see other mamas' experiences. You never know what's gonna happen. It might be like super quick. I won't be able to do it. But if everything goes as planned, definitely gonna make the video mostly for myself and for my family to watch, because it's just the most empowering piece of footage I can watch over. And so I'm definitely gonna do it again. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully it will be soon. So that's it for today. I really hope these 2 lists of mine help you in some way, just gave you other perspective or information or something that you just didn't think about, hopefully. And if you did like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And also, if you want to stick around for more birth related videos and after birth prep kind of videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye guys.